Good morning, kind people of the internet. Today I decided I'd like to make a vlog about what it's like to be a freelance musician for an entire week. So I'm going to just take you along the trip with me. It is currently Monday morning and I just got up, and the first thing I like to do is do a little warm up on my instrument.
Well, are these the options?
These are the options. These are the ones I would probably wear.
Oof, that is strong today.
Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it. What's happening? Oh no.
Thursday morning. I just got home. I had to take a trip downtown to Musicians Repair to have my horn checked out. Last night on the gig I noticed it wasn't feeling that great when I was playing it, and turns out I had a couple of pads that weren't in great shape, and then one of the pads wasn't completely closing. So I took it to my repairman, who does an excellent job. His name is Stephen Georges, and if you're ever in Indianapolis or around the Midwest, definitely check out Musicians Repair and try to get in touch with Stephen, because he does really great work. All right, I'm going to do a little practicing and then some video editing. Thursdays are usually my easier day. I don't have any obligations until about 6 p.m. when I have two private students come to my house, and then I head to another gig tonight. Alright, it is Friday morning, and I woke up and did a short practice session, and now Emily and I are actually headed to get breakfast together before she heads down to work, because we have the time and we haven't really seen each other that much this week. I've been gone almost every evening, and of course she has her day job, so I don't really see her much during the day. So sometimes we get to do random dates together when we get a chance. So then after breakfast I will head back home for a little bit before I head over to class at Butler, and then tonight I'm driving up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I'm staying the night tonight so that I can get up early to be a judge for a jazz festival up there for like high school bands. So, yep, that's what's happening today. All right, it is Friday night. It is almost 9 p.m. and I just got to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and just checked into my hotel. I'm at a Ramada Plaza Conference Center, and this is the hotel room. Pretty small, but that is perfectly fine, because basically I'm going to eat some food and then fall asleep because I have to wake up at about 6 tomorrow. So I just ordered some Chinese food, which is one of my favorite things to do, from Golden China. And they were incredibly nice on the phone. And as soon as I got off the phone with them, I got a call in the hotel room phone, and I answered that, and it was the hotel manager, I think, the person working in the front. And they just called to ask if everything in the room was okay, and of course it's fine. I don't think I've ever had somebody actually do that, where I get to the room and they call just to check to make sure it's fine. And I've stayed in hotels, so many hotels. I've stayed in hotels for like probably 5 years straight, and I can't ever remember that happening. And it's just funny to think about. It seems like, and I wouldn't consider Fort Wayne to be a small town, maybe a small city, but it seems like the smaller a city you get in, the friendlier the people are in general. And I was thinking about that, and I was also thinking, the house that I grew up in, I think most of the time we didn't lock our front door. I mean, we definitely did at night, but it seemed like a lot of the time during the day it was unlocked. At least I remember that being the case when I was a little kid. Of course, I grew up in Indianapolis, but I wasn't like in downtown. I was in a suburb, which in some ways feels like a small town kind of thing, because you're in like a neighborhood and you basically know almost everybody in the neighborhood, where it's, I guess, similar to how I would imagine a small town being. People know everybody in the small town. So maybe they feel like there's less danger. Maybe they just feel safer. Maybe that's part of the reason people are friendlier. Because I also makes you think about when I lived in New York, and when you're in New York, it's considered dangerous to make eye contact with somebody when you pass them on the sidewalk. Whereas in a small town in Indiana, it's considered rude not to say hello and make eye contact to everybody you pass. So it's funny just to think about that. And it's, I wouldn't say shocking, but it's always just like a surprise, I think, now when strangers are friendly, and I would almost consider it overly friendly. Maybe not. Maybe they're just more enlightened than I am, and they're just happy to meet a passing stranger. But I don't know. Maybe I wish I was more like that, or maybe less guarded, or maybe I wish I was a little bit more open. But yeah, funny thoughts. All right, I am going to wait for my Chinese food and then eat that. So I will talk to you later.
On piano, Louis Pearl on guitar, Casey Burchett on trumpet, JP Susantillo on alto.
All right, it is Sunday afternoon. I just had rehearsal with my Butler youth group, and now I'm headed to the grocery and just to run a couple of errands. But Sundays usually I'm free in the morning, so I was doing a little practicing at home. Then I go to Butler for one private lesson and then the youth rehearsal, and then I usually have the rest of the day free. So that's what I'm doing now. And so now I'll have a little bit of time to prepare for next week, or this coming week. Although it's actually spring break for both of my colleges. So it'll be a little bit lighter week this coming week. This past week was definitely a little bit more driving than I normally do. I think I logged maybe almost 600 miles in my car this past week, which usually is not the case. Usually I don't do quite as much stuff out of town, but I was happy to do it. I had a couple of brand new experiences in like schools and situations that I hadn't been in before. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.